I always forget I control my mic. We will now call this reorganizational board meeting for November 22nd to order, and November 22nd, 2022 to order. And if we could start, I'll have Evie come up to say the pledge. If you could all stand. The microphone.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all. You may be seated. Not you, Evie. That was a good try, though. I know you've done this before. So, are you enjoying your Thanksgiving break? So, what grade are you in now?
6.
Oh my gosh, you have a middle schooler.
I know, that's rough.
Man. So, what is your favorite subject in school?
History and Spanish. Ow. History and Spanish.
Very nice. Spanish. That's a good one. Are you working on becoming bilingual? That is my biggest regret in life, is that I did not become bilingual. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Do you have fun plans for this week?
Yeah.
Yes? Gonna eat some turkey? It does. You had a lot more answers the last time you did this. It is. So who all is here with you today?
My dad, my brother, my mom, and my grandpa.
Very nice. Well, thank you. Thank you for bringing Evie this morning. We're always excited to see you. Thank you for saying the pledge for us, and we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving break. I have a feeling Mom didn't tell her all of the things that she was going to have to do this morning. All right, our first order of business will be to accept the agenda for the November 15th, 2022 election year reorganization meeting.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Cunningham and Dr. Allen, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. We will now go to our oaths of office. So first, I would like to ask Mr. Bridges to come to the front for Mr. Nolte. Can we, before you do it, Wes, yeah, there we go.
There we get it. We got it. I, Rick Nolte. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, protect, and defend. Protect, and defend. The Constitution and government. Of the United States. And of the state of Florida. That I am duly qualified to hold office. Under the Constitution of the state. And that I will well and faithfully perform. The duties of school board member. On which I am not about to enter. So help me God. Welcome to the board.
And for each of the board members, I'll ask you to come take your seat and give us a few comments. Your mic is open. Your mic is open if you want to give a few comments.
thank all my friends and family for being here, and I look forward to serving the board, and I know that we're going to have a great 4 years, and appreciate your backing, and thank you so much. God bless, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Right, next, we'll go to District 5 for Mrs. Fields, and I would like to ask Reverend Dorian Harris to come to the front as well.
I, Kay Fields,
I, Kay Fields,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and government
and government
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of this state of Florida,
that I am duly
that I
qualified
am duly qualified
to hold
to hold
office
office
under the Constitution
under the Constitution
of the state,
of the state,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully perform
and faithfully perform
the duties of school board
the
member
duties of a school board member
on which
on which
I am now
I am now
about to enter.
about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congrats, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
And Ms. Fields, if you'd like to give us a few comments.
Yes, ma'am, I would. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank my son, Dorian Ashawn Harris, Pastor Harris, for swearing me in. What an honor to be able to have my son to swear me in this morning. The legacy that I bring, thanks be to God, is that my father was an AME minister. I have two brothers that were in the ministry. One is still alive, one has gone on to heaven. And then now my son is in the ministry. And to me, that is very important, especially during this campaign season. So this morning, I reflect on the goodness of the Lord and thank each of you who supported me throughout this unusual campaign season. When I decided to seek re-election to the school board, I prayed long and hard for direction from the Lord. He told me that it would not be easy, but he would be with me. And he was with me through the very end. He used many of you to help me, and I can't say thank you enough. I am excited about the opportunity to serve our students and families for 4 more years. I promise to do my very best as a school board member, each and every day, always putting our students first. My favorite passage of scripture is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. There were many folks against me, but there were more for me. And I was reminded often that the Lord was in control of the outcome of this election and that I was covered. Thank you, Lord. I want to thank my husband, Gal Fields, for running my campaign, and I want to thank him for always having my back. I want to thank him for putting his priorities to the side and making me first. I love you, Gal. And I want to thank Greg King in his absence for providing his expertise and knowledge. I also want to thank my niece, I call her my daughter as well, Chandra Frederick, for being my campaign treasurer. A big thank you to my family for supporting my campaign and my decision to run for re-election 1 more time. A special thanks to my campaign team and foot soldiers who helped me immensely. I will be forever grateful. And I could never forget my Girls Inc. family for allowing me to serve as a school board member. And lastly, I want to thank those in attendance for my swearing in this morning, and for those watching from a distance. Many of you are not here today because you are sick or you have family members who are sick. We will continue to pray for each of you in your respective places, and to those whose doctor's report looks bleak this morning, just remember who has the final say. May God bless each and every one of you. And lastly, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge and thank our former superintendent of schools, Mrs. Jackie Bird, and her husband, Mr. Jason Bird, for their presence today. We love you both. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. And next, we will go to District 6. So I will call Justin Sharpless to the floor, and I believe swearing him in is Judge Williams.
I, Justin Sharpless,
I, Justin Sharpless,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States and of the state of Florida,
of the United States and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of school board member
the duties of school board member
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Got furthest to travel. It was like that way in the campaign too. To Lakeland. I have a few comments. I wrote them down so that way I could get through them all. Thank you. I am honored to be here today. Obviously, I would not be here today without the help of so many people, and I'd like to take the time to thank them. First and foremost, I give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, without whom nothing is possible. Second, thank you to the Polk County voters who entrusted me to serve. Regardless of how you voted, I am accountable to all of you and hope to make you proud with my service over the next 4 years. Next, I would like to thank my family. To my wife, Emmeline, who is a teacher and an amazing mother to our 2 boys. I love you, sweetheart, and appreciate all the days and nights you shouldered your own job, bath time, and volunteering with the campaign so that I could make my case to the voters of Polk County. To my boys, Wyatt and Rhett, you're the reason I ran for this office. And my hope is that my time I spend serving in this body alongside everyone here leads to a brighter future for you and all the boys and girls across Polk County, one that helps you reach your full God-given potential. I love you, and I'm so proud to be your dad. To my parents, my mom, Kelly Blankenship, my dad and stepmom, Danny and Holly Sharpless, my in-laws, Jan and Ronnie Meeks, my brothers, Austin Sharpless and Jake Blankenship, my sister, Anna Green, my great-uncle, John Mankoff, and my grandparents, Bob and Betty Sharpless. Thanks to all of you for loving me, supporting me, volunteering for countless hours, and believing in me. To my pastors and church family at High Point Church, thank you for the love and support you give to me, my family, and the greater Lake Wales community. I would also like to thank the following friends, donors, and counselors who gave me the resources, encouragement, and guidance I needed to run a positive and successful campaign. Nathan Register, Kate Wallace, Hal Wallace, Ron Parks, Alice Hunt, Vic Story, my campaign treasurers, Sal Tropia and Kevin O'Leary, and everyone else who donated their time, talent, or resources to our campaign. Thank you to the following current or former elected officials who supported my campaign. Representatives Melanie Bell and Fred Hawkins, Sheriff Grady Judd, Senator J.D. Alexander, Vice Mayor Bryn Summerlin, Vice Mayor Austin Gravely, Mayor Jack Hilligoss, Mayor Bob Elliott, Commissioner Possum Shell, and Polk County Commissioners Bill Braswell, Neil Cumby, Rick Wilson, and Dr. Martha Santiago, as well as my predecessor, former board member Lynn Wilson. To my mentors, I stand on the shoulders of many giants who inspired me to run for this office. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to them and their legacies. It started in the 11th grade when I was invited by my high school agriculture teacher, Milton Bryan, to come to the Bartow Halloween Parade to sign wave for none other than the Jim Thornhill for Superintendent campaign. Then it was volunteering on the Danny Garner for School Board campaign while in college. There were also many times I visited fellow Polk Countyan and my fraternity brother, Adam Putnam, at his congressional office and stood in awe of his example. However, of all my political mentors, there is someone who went above and beyond in this entire process, and that is former Polk County educator and school board candidate David Byrd. Mr. Byrd, thank you for your unwavering support and guidance. I could not have done this without you. To Polk County Public Schools, the system that prepared me and put me on this path, I say thank you. I want to give back to this system for all it's given me. I ran on the platform to make a mark on Polk County Public Schools. So in my next 4 years, that is exactly what I plan to focus on. M, for meaningful diplomas. A, access for all. R, recruiting and retaining our best. And K, while I initially ran on kindergarten readiness, throughout the campaign, I realized that but the first and foremost priority is keeping our kids safe. But before I do any of that, I will listen. I look forward to visiting every school in my district. Nobody will wonder who their school board member is. That is why I will announce at the December board meeting my District 6 listening tour to take place in January. I look forward to working with and beside each of my board colleagues. I'm grateful, Mrs. Cunningham and Mrs. Fields, for the institutional knowledge you bring to this board. Chair Wyatt, Dr. Allen, Vice Chair Miller, all of whom are fellow Polk County Public School grads, like me. And finally, Mr. Nolte, who I'll have to lean on as we kind of figure out this whole new school board member thing together. To Superintendent Hyde, I'm eager to work with you and am grateful you are a superintendent. I have been amazed by all your great work so far and can't wait to see the heights that we will reach over the next 4 years. And finally, I subscribe, just so you know a little bit about me, I subscribe to the servant leadership theory. Jesus exemplifies servant leadership in John 13, 1 through 17. In this passage, Jesus washes his disciples' feet, a task which was deemed servant's work. My hope for when my time in office is up is for my tenure to be defined by service. Additionally, I hope to serve as a living example to our students and help them see they should not be afraid to take a risk. To quote country music singer Cody Johnson, if you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you've got a dream, chase it, because a dream won't chase you back. If you're going to love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can until you can't. I'm grateful I took the chance. And now I'm ready to move forward as a member of the Polk County School Board. Thank you. God bless. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpless. And last but not least, District 7 will be swearing in Mrs. Miller. And if I could ask Reverend Sizemore to come down to the front for her swearing in.
I, Lisa Miller,
I, Lisa Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I'm duly qualified
that I'm duly qualified
to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully perform
and faithfully perform
the duties of school board member
the duties of school board member
on which I'm about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Yes. Miss Miller, I already turned you on.
Oh, you turned me on. Thank you. Technology is new still. Listen, there were two eloquent speeches given today. I just want to take a few minutes to thank the people that helped me into the second term. We had 77 volunteers in a group. They were parents, teachers, community members. If I would leave people out, but I do want to recognize a few that went over and beyond what I even could expect. We had parents like Sarah Frederick and Karen Stockman and Cindy Linneman, and teachers like Natalie Cole and Christy McCullough, who battled it out with Bob on the sign holding days. Laura Allgood and Jim Palmer, whose wife is very ill, but he would spend his evenings with us planning the campaign. Community members like Nancy Reed, who I worked for years ago, who came back and wanted to help in the campaign. Along with everybody else, it did take a village. This campaign was nothing like I'd ever faced before. It was shocking, disturbing for a lot. But what it showed was the 15 years of commitment. That's Michael. It showed the 15 years of commitment to families is what really stood out and what really brought it home from the community. So I want to thank those families and everyone that helped bring us to the second term. You know, Mr. Sharpless mentioned Mr. Byrd, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Byrd. He was not only an opponent, he was a friend, and he became my friend for a long time, and he's still an encourager and a mentor. The encouragement from my Kiwanis family and in the community, Mayor Mutz, and the first female mayor of Auburndale, Mayor Bogart, very supportive through this campaign. We couldn't have done it without you. The fundraising, I never imagined raising that kind of money, but people just stepped up. They stepped up for kids, and they stepped up for facts, and they stepped up for truth, and I'll always appreciate that. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to the second term. I'm authentic, if you don't know. Authentic and transparent is how I've always worked, and I promise to stay balanced and focused with ideas from every perspective. Every person is valued. People-centric, I stole that from Bill Mutz, and I think it's very important. When making rules and policy, it's about all people, every person. You represent everyone, and I look forward to doing that for a second term. My colleagues, this is a new board, and we have a lot to learn together, and I hope that it can be a productive 4 years of making progress here in Polk County. I'm so proud of Mr. Hyde. I almost gave him that doctorate degree again. Mr. Hyde, and the work we've done in a short amount of time, and I look forward to serving with you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. He's gonna finish it one day, and we're gonna call him doctor.
Honorary doctorate.
With that, I will turn it over to Superintendent Hyde to run the election of chairman and vice chairman.
It's always so tempting not to do this part, so I can just remain in control of everything for at least 5 minutes until they seized it back from me through Mr. Bridges. But good morning, everyone. It really is a pleasure to be here and welcome you all here on November 22nd, 2021, to the meeting of the School Board of Polk County, Florida. The board chair has called this meeting to order, and pursuant to Florida Statute 1001.371, and I, as the superintendent, will now act as chair until the organization of the board has been completed. At this time, we do request that all cell phones and/or other devices be turned off or put in silent mode. Our next order of business is to elect a board chair. I will use the following procedure. In a moment, I will open the floor for nominations. After board members have had ample time to make all nominations they wish, I'll ask for a motion to close nominations. after which I will conduct a roll call vote by district, beginning with the first candidate nominated. If there is a majority for the first nominee, the election of the school board chair will be considered complete, and we will move to the election of the vice chair. If there is not a majority in favor of the first nominee, there will be a roll call vote for the second nominee. This process will continue until a board chair is elected by majority vote. I will use the same method in the election of the vice chair. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am. Or you could indicate on the speaker's list. I will now accept nominations for chairman. Nominations, as a reminder, do not require a second. I saw Ms. Cunningham's hand go up.
Yes, thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Thank you. Yes, sir. I would like to nominate for chairman Sarah Beth Wyatt. I think she's done an awesome job over the past 12 months and navigated our technology part of this so well. So I would like to nominate you to continue as chairman for another year.
Duly noted. Ms. Miller?
I was going to nominate also for the same reasons, Chairperson Wyatt, so I think we're in a good agreement here.
Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, we will close the nomination period. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think you do still need to do a roll call. I apologize. It is on the next page. I do have to conduct a roll call vote in order of nominations. The first nominee and only nominee is Ms. Sarah Beth Wyatt. I will call each member by district. Please indicate whether or not you support the nominee by saying aye or nay. Dr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Cunningham was a nominee, so I'm assuming that was an aye.
Aye.
Rick Nolte?
Aye.
Ms. Wyatt?
Aye.
Ms. Fields?
Aye.
Mr. Sharpless?
Aye.
Ms. Miller?
Aye.
This is a majority. We will move to the election of vice chair, and our chair will be Ms. Sarah Beth Wyatt. Congratulations. I will now accept nominations for vice chair. I will clear the list. Go ahead, Ms. Cunningham.
There we go. Thank you. And I would like to nominate Dr. William Allen for vice chair of the board. I think Ms. Miller has done an awesome job over the past year, but I would like to see Dr. Allen have the opportunity to serve under Ms. Wyatt's leadership and tutelage so that he may begin to advance his career on the school board as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Chair Wyatt?
I would like to nominate Miss Miller. She has run this timer to a T over the past few weeks as we've been experimenting with technology, but she has been a great number two for the past year, so I have full confidence in her to remain as vice chair.
Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, I will accept that the nominations are closed. At this time, I will now conduct a roll call vote in order of nomination. The first nominee was Dr. William Allen. I will call each member by district. Please indicate whether or not you support the first nominee by saying aye or nay. Dr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Cunningham?
Aye.
Mr. Nolte?
Aye.
Ms. Wyatt?
Nay.
Ms. Fields?
This is a tough one. Aye.
Mr. Sharpless?
Aye.
Ms. Miller?
I'm voting for my colleague, Mr. Allen.
At this time, the majority is in favor of Dr. William Allen serving in the role of vice chair. Please congratulate Mr. William. The next item is the designation of time, date, and place for school board meetings. I recommend to the board that we host meetings, as we have historically, on the fourth Tuesday of each month at 5 p.m., with these meetings to be held at the school board auditorium at the administrative offices in Bartow, Florida. I will now entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved?
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now do a roll call vote. Dr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Cunningham?
Aye.
Mr. Nolte?
Aye.
Ms. Wyatt?
Aye.
Ms. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Fields?
Aye.
And Mr. Sharpless?
Aye.
Motion passes. The next item is the approval of Resolution 2022-2023-06, authorizing the banks of Polk County, Florida as depositories of school funds to honor and cash warrants drawn against said funds when signed by the board chair and secretary of the board. I will now entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Allen?
Aye.
Cunningham?
Aye.
Mr. Nolte?
Aye.
Chair Wyatt?
Aye.
Ms. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Fields?
Aye.
Mr. Sharpless?
Aye.
Motion passes. The next item on today's reorganization agenda is my recommendation that the proceedings of the school board meetings be held in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, revised, and the Rules of Administrative Procedures Act. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Dr. Allen?
Aye.
Cunningham?
Aye.
Mr. Nolte?
Aye.
Chair Wyatt?
Aye.
Ms. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Fields?
Aye.
Mr. Sharpless?
Aye.
Motion passes. This completes the reorganization portion of the meeting. I will now gladly turn the meeting over to our newly appointed for second term chair, Ms. Sarah Beth Wyatt.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. With that, we will move to the superintendent's report. Do you have anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes, ma'am. The next work session and board meeting will be held on December 13th, 2022. The work session will begin at 12:30 p.m. and the board meeting will begin at 5 p.m. Both meetings will be held at the district office, located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow. That concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Mr. Bridges, any report today?
No report, Madam Chair. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Dr. Allen?
Yeah, sure. Just short and sweet. Just want to say congratulations to our elected officials. You've earned that right, and I really appreciate the legacy and the service that you brought, as well as serving the vice chair as well. To our newly elected board members, just as Superintendent Hyde notes, when you're having a bad day, just go visit a school. That's where you're going to find the fulfillment and the purpose of what we do. So, Ms. Wyatt, congratulations, and we look forward to serving under your leadership. And happy Thanksgiving to all. That's all I have.
Ms. Cunningham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too want to echo my sincerest congratulations to Ms. Wyatt for becoming our chairman again and serving us so well. We look forward to working under your leadership for the next year. And to Dr. Allen, being our new vice chair, I think it'll be a wonderful opportunity for you for growth on this board. And you have such a warm heart, and I think you're going to do an awesome job. So I look forward to seeing what the Wyatt Allen partnership is going to look like going forward. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. And I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate my fellow colleagues. I'll begin with Mr. Nolte. Thank you so much in ahead for your service on this board. As I told several of you, this is the hardest job that you're ever going to love. But it's awesome. And the more you're on the board and the more time that you spend, the more you're going to realize what a great decision this was to actually put your name in the hat to run. So congratulations. I look forward to working with you. Going down the line here, I don't know about districts, but anyways, Ms. Miller, congratulations on winning a second term. I know at times it's difficult in that campaign process. We've all been through what I call the nonsense, but you know, you asked me a while ago, kind of, what do you do? And I said, you just got to be who you are and true to yourself. And obviously you were, because here you are today. So congratulations, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. Ms. Fields, once again, congratulations. Now, I'm going to ask, will it be 24 years when you complete? Yes, it will. So wonderful. Congratulations. I think you're the longest-serving board member that we've had on this board, and I always welcome your history, the knowledge that you bring, the institutional knowledge, and of course, your beautiful family that supports you in everything that you do. So I look forward to working you, and congratulations, Mrs. Fields. And to Dr. Sharpless, we've had many conversations. At one point, you blessed me and thanked me for being a good mentor. I think through the past year and a half, I believe I've been there for you. I've answered all of your questions, all of your, late night, oh my goodness, what do I do's? And you got through it all. And once again, it was very important that you too become the person that you are and be who you are, and always be transparent and, most importantly, true to yourself, your values, and of course, your family, which is number one. As I've always said, it's God first, family second, and career third. And we all respect that, I do believe, on this board. So congratulations to you once again. I'm excited to see all of the hard work that you and I did come to fruition, and I wish you the best and look forward to working with you. Congratulations, Dr. Sharpless. And wish everybody here and in the audience a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody has some time to be with their families and reflect on the blessings that we all have. Everybody's got problems and issues in life, but you need to take the time to reflect and be thankful for the things that are great and good in your lives and in your homes. So happy Thanksgiving. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. Mr. Nolte?
Thank you. I'm humbled and honored to be here, and I promise I will remember my password next time. And go Mocs, and I look forward to working with everyone, and I'm so blessed, and thank you again for my son, my daughter. They were my campaign people, and kept everything going well, and their families, and Jane Ann, everybody. I'm really honored and blessed to be here. I look forward again, and I concur with everything that you said. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Nolte. Ms. Fields?
I already had my comments, but I do want to recognize my grandbaby, Ari. Ari, stand up. Ari is a second grader at Lakeland Christian School, and she is amazing. And thank you for holding the Bible, Ari. You did a great job this morning. All right, thank you.
I love that purple dress.
And those are my comments.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Mr. Sharpless?
I articulated my comments pretty well earlier, but I would like to say, go Gators, beat the Seminoles.
Thank you, Justin. Ms. Miller?
Thank you. You know who I forgot? The most important people in the back of the room. My Bob and Michael and Evie. And when you're in this, your kids are the ones who really have to deal with a lot. So I want to thank Evie especially for, sticking around for those late nights, waiting for me to get home and making sure homework was done. And Bob, of course, could not do this without him, even though sometimes I had to restrain him in his comments from this campaign. He was the one that kept me grounded, and the support that he provides is like no other. 23 years as of Sunday. So I'm so proud of my family and what they've done. I'm kind of excited to move down the way. I know Mr. Hyde is excited for me to get to sit next to him. I promise not to distract him through the meetings. But I want to encourage new board members to make sure that you're not only visiting your district, but make sure you're visiting schools and programs that we have across this district that represent all kinds of children and students. We have students in different programs, and I can tell you there's board members still on, that we're waiting to really get the idea of some of our most significant needs. So if you've not been in some of our schools that house our students with disabilities, the most significant students, I encourage you to visit those. They're open and readily available. But thanks for coming out today. I know this staff wasn't here today, and some of them came in. This is odd to have it during a Thanksgiving week, but we filled the auditorium, and I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. And I just want to echo, she touched a little bit on staff being here. We could not do all of our meetings without our tech team, and I know we have Jessica and Nathan in the back. We have Jordan came in today to take pictures. We have Judd here to make sure that when we forget how to log into our computers, which happens to all of us pretty much every meeting, so don't feel like you're the only one. It'll happen to all of us. He's here to make sure that we can get into our computers, to Yvette and Wendy, and I believe I saw Elizabeth when I was coming in. And I know we have a couple of guardians and resource officers here as well. And of course, Superintendent Hyde. Thank you all for giving up a morning on your Thanksgiving break to come in and make sure that we could have our new members sworn in and meet our constitutional duties today. So with that, Superintendent Hyde.
Just want to say thank you for recognizing the staff. Most people believe that schools are closed during Thanksgiving week, and we are far from closed. Drive by any of our middle school, high schools, and there are still practices going on. There are still teachers there meeting. There are still plenty of action and opportunities for our kids. And so I'm very pleased to see that level of dedication, so much so that if you don't get enough of Thanksgiving Day football, on Friday, November 25th, you will have 2 other opportunities to see 2 of our finest high school football programs continuing their competition at the regional finals. So we have Lakeland playing at home against Lake Minneola at Bryant Stadium, and we have Frostproof Middle High playing against Bishop Verot at, I don't know, they gave me an acronym, but it's not a home game, it's an away game. So you have plenty of opportunities for additional football this Thanksgiving holiday, and then from my family to all of you and to everybody who's here today, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving and full of merriment, full of plenty of food, lots of naps, and bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and with that, this meeting is adjourned.